To the Citi Newsroom, coming to you live from our studios at number. After months of experiencing nationwide shortage of some childhood vaccines, Ministry of Health announces taking delivery of first consignment of measles, BCG and oral polio vaccines.
Immediately they are being dispatched to the regions, and then latest by Monday, vaccination will start across the country. We want to use this opportunity to assure all mothers there will be enough vaccines for everybody. There's no rush. They should come and
Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, an initiative to help the poor in society, make a passionate appeal to the government to increase their grants and also ensure prompt disbursal.
Then you know, come now.
Well, Gamano, Mano, near the Kaj, or me, or 1.59 or 1.6.
Following the uproar that the military visited on Ashaiman, security analyst Colonel Festus Abwaja, retired, wants political authorities to stop interfering in the activities of the Ghana Armed Forces.
When the state misapplies the Ghana Armed Forces, for that matter, the military and other security institutions, it's only a matter of time that those institutions will misapply their mandate.
And later, the week-long Heritage Caravan finally arrives back in Accra.
But time flies when you're having fun, so it's so good.
I'm very sad because I didn't think I was going to have so much fun, but I did, and I'm glad I actually came and enjoyed my time.
Many thanks for choosing us. Let's settle for the details of our stories now. The Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service has taken delivery of the first consignment of measles, BCG and oral polio vaccines. For weeks, Ghanaians have experienced shortage of childhood vaccines, leading to a measles outbreak in the country. Receiving the vaccines, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumabwaje, assured that nationwide disbursement of the vaccines will begin from Monday.
doses in BCG, oral polio vaccine, and then the measles vaccine. They just arrived with the accessories, the syringes, safety boxes, they've all just arrived. And so immediately they are being dispatched to the regions, and then latest by Monday, there's no rush. They should come and get the vaccine as they are due. So this is the 3 out of the 10 vaccines. We normally have 10 vaccines that are used for 13 diseases across Ghana. 3 of them were in short supply. That is the OPV, BCG, and the measles rubella vaccine. We have received quantities of the 3 to complement what we are doing. And this is the first batch that has arrived. We are hoping that the rest will come in very vaccines available for those who need it. The doses that are available is enough for at least a minimum of 6 weeks across the country, while the others are brought in. So we have enough doses to cover our need for the next 6 weeks. We are moving to the cold room, and the regional cold vans are waiting to pick them up and quickly send them to the regions and to the facilities, so that by Monday, as I said, we would start vaccinating all. These new vaccines are just going to help us do a catch-up to make sure that by the end of the year, all children who are supposed to be vaccinated are vaccinated. And so, even though there's a delay for vaccination, the most important thing is that you will take them as and when they come. If you can't take them before the due date for the next booster, but the days after still doesn't really affect the immunity that's supposed to provide for you. And we also have heard rumors of people parading around with vaccines. Vaccines are not sold in the shops. They are not sold on the tabletop. So they have to be careful that people are not bringing in vaccines that are not of good quality. We have vaccines across the country now, and everybody should relax. Go to their point of care, and they'll be all vaccinated.
Now, security analyst Colonel Festus Abwaja retired is blaming political authority for Tuesday's military invasion at Ashaiman that led to many injuries. On Tuesday, military men stormed the Ashaiman community following the murder of Imur Sharif. There's more in the following report.
Tuesday's events at Ashaiman have reignited conversations about the arbitrariness of some military personnel in Ghana. In what seemed like a reprisal attack for the murder of a young soldier, men from the Ghana Armed Forces stormed Ashaiman and brutalized and arrested some residents. Although the military high command says it sanctioned the action, some people have expressed concern about the invasion and if it falls within the remit of the military to invade a community and arrest citizens. For some people, this is the rule of law. Security analyst Colonel retired Festus Abwaja, however, believes political authority is to blame for the misapplication of the mandate of the military, just like it was done in the Ashaiman invasion.
The failure of the state also lies in the failure of governance, in clearly defining what the role of the military is in a democracy. We know what the role of the military is. It is prescribed in our constitution, Article 210, and I think 215 and so on, and other regulations, the Armed Forces Act 105 and so on. But that is not what the control and management of the armed forces should be about. My argument is that in a short span of time, just about 3 years, we have seen an ascendancy of the state of Ghana misapplying the Ghana Armed Forces. Yes. One, let's go to Ayawaso West Wogon, 31st January 2019. That is a classic example of how the state abuses human rights. Secondly, let us go to voter registration and how the state misapplied men and women in uniform, i.e. the military, to go and supervise elections, which is not their function. Who ordered the Ghana Armed Forces to enter the House of Parliament? Till today, nobody in government has had the moral courage and the decency to come out and say, I, Obintin or Asimesi, ordered the military to go there. My argument is that when the state misapplies the Ghana Armed Forces, for that matter, the military and other security institutions, it's only a matter of time that those institutions will misapply their mandate. And that is exactly what we saw at Ashaiman.
Colonel retired Abwaja also questions the understanding of the political class on the various tenets of democracy and calls for governance reforms to reorient the various actors of the mandates for the various security agencies.
The blame must be laid squarely at the door of the political class. And I'm arguing that it is high time we did what I want to call governance sector reform. A lot of our men and women who are politicians don't understand some of these tenets, what democracy means, what rule of law means, what military subservience to political authority and so on. They don't understand. If they did, then there must be, once again, a deliberate reason why they are not obeying those tenets. So we have a problem on our hands.
Yes.
And I think the way to go about it is not to blame the Ghana Armed Forces. We are all humans. Under the circumstance, any one of us who are outside of Ghana Armed Forces might have done the same thing. So the important thing is to drill down and find out why, in a space of 3 years, we're not talking about 30 years of this fourth democratic dispensation, we are talking about 3 years. And you can count so many incidents where the political class has misapplied. I cannot imagine that anybody can order a soldier to carry the handbag of an electoral committee. I can't understand. Neither can I accept that any soldier must escort an electoral commissioner. It hasn't happened. So it is the political class, either out of ignorance or whatever it is, who are undermining this democracy.
Now, calm has returned to the Dondoli community in the Wa municipality of the Upper West region after some youth protested the killing of a middle-aged man by the police last Wednesday evening. The deceased, Abubakar Sahid, was shot to death on suspicion that he was part of a robbery gang operating in Wa and its environs. His family, however, denied his involvement in any crime and massed up at the forecourt of the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council to demand justice for him. The body of the victim was released yesterday for burial, but the family maintains that they will stop at nothing to ensure that the deceased is cleared of the accusations leveled against him by the police. Mohammed Tamim speaks for the family.
The mass money. Now we continue with the other family funeral arrangements, but we won't sit until justice is given. Now the family is standing for justice. Despite sending the case to RISEC, we also pursue that justice really reigns. Your side needs justice. Side is not a thief. Side needs justice. We will pursue justice till the last drop of ours.
The Member of Parliament for the La Dadekotopon constituency, Rita Na Odole Sowa, is calling on all stakeholders to put in place measures to conduct a structural assessment of the abandoned 17-story residential La Towers, the construction of which has been stalled over the years. There's more in this report. The 17-story La Beach Towers is located on the La Road in Accra to serve as a beachfront residential property. But several years after construction began, the structure stands uncompleted. The structure is deteriorating and revealing damages caused to the metallic equipment and tools that have badly rusted away. How much of a threat is this abandoned building posing to the communities around it? Building components like iron rods and metals that are exposed to the sea breeze continually wear off and corrode due to the building's proximity to the sea. The situation renders the structure weak and a potential death trap. The Member of Parliament for La Dadekotopon, Rita Na Odole Sowa, is calling on the government to, as a matter of urgency, cordon off the area to prevent people from accessing the building, as she believes it can become a den for criminals. She is also calling on government to conduct a structural integrity test of the building.
Before the building can be demolished, like I earlier said, we need to carry out the structural assessment to determine whether that building standing there really has to be demolished. Without that, you cannot just demolish the structure. The permit has expired though, and if the assembly even has to come in, they still have to carry out this process, look for the owners, so that the assembly will not be taken on or be taken to court when they do something that they think is in the best interest of the people. So the bottom line is the structural assessment that has to be carried out, and then we see the way forward whether we have to demolish it or not. As Member of Parliament, I believe it's been a long time, and we have to look out for the owners to ensure that it won't harm lives, if I should put it that way, because nobody is coming up, nobody is completing it. And so what is it standing there for? So I'll support the Assembly in whatever steps has to be taken to make sure that the right thing is done for the good people of Dadekotopon.
Contrary to news reports and rumors that the 17-story La Beach Towers building on the La Road in Accra may not be structurally sound, the La Dadekotopon Municipal Assembly said there was currently no evidence to suggest that the building could collapse. Residents of the La Township who fear the collapse of the building are calling for its demolition. Some of them spoke to City News.
So of course, I know I got to work a circle, Mokumeja where Egbation. About the same time, we were like I'm a close few. I will not change and one girl 80 half the week. Do I forget building any machine? A much more that you watch you. I'm a car park at the Biname Fife. Your boys by Jemmy about behavior, a Jemmy. The Boname, show you a week upon a few can be a Jemmy. One wants market Kaji Aquani, and young Finuku here. Bako Bonabana Fitu, Necula Lip Bonnie, Mokubania, Tajame, you could a hilly coil you. When I know one bow now.
This building is very, very dangerous because how the building is very, very tall too. Anything can happen to us. Because if the rain fall and the sea started coming outside, the soil, there's this thing there, how do you call it? The sea breeze. The sea breeze, it will eat under the clay, all will come out. It can for them cause some incidents or accidents here. It is very, very dangerous. So they have to do something about this building. They have to just damage from there. And they should demolish from there. It is very, very dangerous. Because you don't know what will happen. If this building break down, it will kill a lot of people here. It will bring accidents. So
people are saying the person who is building the tower is dead. And up till now, for so many years, he's there. People, we have squatters there who are doing bad things, snatching people's phone early in the morning and late in the night. So there is something they have to do about it, and there is no street lights too. It should come to our aid and put street lights, and if maybe they can demolish that thing there, it will be better.
Most let in one me come jeme na me wo wole ba anya happy ye jeme bon ju ona gba fi o shoki anya ba ni ko wo po do mo je poni wo ke won wu shop ba anya ba ni na wo ye that na teje na me to kan bi e no o ba o mi se ko shoki ba anya one day wole ni ba anya happy bon ke be ne kula etenwe fi ni ha de kula ba anya achi no ga ba shipon fi oni enye ba nwe because sometimes enye wo egbe e bi
You're watching the City Newsroom on City TV. Still ahead. Beneficiaries of Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, an initiative to help the poor in society, make a passionate appeal to the government to increase their grants and also ensure prompt dispersal. We'll bring you the details shortly. Do stay with us.
Has changed, yo! Yo, Angela, look at you all grown up, yo!
Some things never change, like Gino's quality recipe that gives my food that rich color, unique natural taste every time.
Smells good, yo!
Hey, sister, we did what Ponsano and Casa, just like I remember.
Uncle, hurry up and let's open the suitcase.
Ajua, try, let me shrink quite fast.
Best jollof I've ever eaten.
Wow, this is real jollof, mommy.
Gino dear, Emma Drania de Ancasa.
Say Gino dear, fie.
It's delicious, yo!
This advert is FDA approved.
It is important for husbands to support their wives who test positive for HIV when they are pregnant. The assistance I got from my husband encouraged me to follow all the guidelines given by the nurses and doctors. I gave birth to an HIV-negative child. I'm therefore appealing to all men to test for HIV and encourage their wives to do same. All pregnant women should test for HIV and follow instructions given by their healthcare providers. This will help them to have HIV-free babies. Men and women, let's work together to have an HIV-free generation.
Our children must be free to shine.
You're welcome back. Let's do some more stories now. Beneficiaries of the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty LEAP have called on the government to increase their grants significantly and ensure its prompt dispersal. The cash transfer-based program has been applauded as a necessary intervention to cushion the poorest and most vulnerable in society. However, delays in dispersal and the increasing cost of living has reduced the impact of the 54 Ghana cedis per vulnerable elderly beneficiary. They are therefore appealing to the government to at least ensure prompt allocation. Citi News' Caleb Kuda has more in the following feature he titles Leapfrogging, Leap for Maximum Impact.
It's a hot afternoon. Davia Josusunkpo is taking a nap under a coconut tree on the beach of their top of the sand. Davi has advanced in age, though she's not sure how old she is. Age has caught up with the mother of 9, with 3 surviving, 1 an invalid, and 2 hustling far away from home. To make life bearable for extremely poor and vulnerable households, the government of Ghana introduced in 2008 the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty LEAP. The social protection program is a cash transfer-based one. The eligible members are orphaned and vulnerable children, persons with severe disability without any productive capacity, and elderly persons 65 years and above like Davi Ajo. Though Davi Ajo has been receiving stipends, she doesn't know its name. She receives between $11 to $12 equivalent of the cedi every 2 months. However, the dispersal could delay for up to 6 months. Though small, the stipend helps keep body and soul together, and she wants government to disburse on time and increase it.
Da gamadana na kuru kunyali doga wu.
Tanko no.
Ano za agbani no dara jinami. Ala no tsona ni ka akaba.
Davia Joe took me to see her friend, Afokoku. Just like his friend, Fokoku hasn't received LEAP stipends in months.
Wow, you must go don't go Banala. The communal in Ayako, Anami. As on many Gino, Camille Ginovo. When you I never Gino Tona, I do Gino and I wrote Atona. I feel all your Miaka. Won't open and Gamelio.
As vulnerable people, Afokoku says they have no right to demand for the stipend, but to remain hopeful for the good graces of the state.
Oh, I got my own with you. I can't Banala, Manu, Yakamber, Aber, Nano, Frenasiaro, the Neplanano Siena, Nano Global, no Toga, and I know Ninamio. Abonio, the Catata Daro, by force order Katogano, force talking over Alaklalo. There you, Oyomiko, Nina.
Fokoku's neighbor is Dahore Kwawaye, a visually impaired widow. She lives in a shed made of coconut fronds and a roof, one that can easily be blown away by mild winds. How does she survive the rains? Dahore doesn't remember receiving any stipends under the LEAP program. Her wish is to live in a more secure home before she dies. These beneficiaries do not feel entitled to the stipends, but Head of Communications for LEAP, Colson Akambasiam, says it is a right they are entitled to.
It's not a favor, it is a right. And it's a right because every citizen, every government has a contract with its people, and it's the duty of government to help those who cannot help themselves, the basis for which the social protection is being born, and there's a policy governing that's the end. That gave birth to the LEAP program, and we have been in existence for a while. It's a duty because these are people who are selected based on targeting, and the selection is done based on poverty and vulnerability.
He explains considerations based on which grants are paid starting from 64 Ghana cedis or $5 for 2 months.
And the grant is paid based on the number of these vulnerable people in a household. So if one person is in a household, they are paid 64 Ghana cedis bi-monthly. If there are 2, 76 bi-monthly. If there are 3, 88 bi-monthly. And if there are 4 and above, they are equally paid 106. And anytime there are delays in the payment, we put these monies together. And every time we pay, we call it a cycle. So we can put 2 cycles together if there are delays, and we make sure we pay the arrears owed them for a particular cycle.
The delays in the release of the LEAP stipends, as well as its insufficiency, were captured in the 2021 Citizens Assessment of Social Protection Delivery in Ghana, CSO's Social Protection Report, otherwise referred to as the Mirror Report. According to the Mirror Report, available statistics show that Ghana's spending on social protection as a percentage of GDP is less than 1%. In 2019, it was 0.6%, which is below the sub-Saharan African average of 2.2% and that of most middle-income countries between 6.7% to 8.7%. However, there has been an increase in Ghana's social protection budgetary allocations and releases over time. Total spending on social protection in Ghana nearly doubled in nominal terms between the period 2015 and 2018. Despite this development, the Mirror Report observes that the budget allocation to the LEAP program has seen some constant drop over the past 4 years, from 2019 to 2022. Over 200 million Ghana cedis was allocated in 2020, and this amount was reduced to some 197 million in 2021. The 2022 budget shows an allocation of some 197 million Ghana cedis, which is just a 462 Ghana cedi increase. In percentages, this is 0.0002% of the 2021 allocation. This, the report argues, is an insignificant increase and inadequate considering recent challenges confronting the LEAP program. To worsen the situation, the Mirror Report observes the LEAP program only receives a fraction of the allocation. For example, only 35% of the allocation was received in 2020, while 44% of the allocation was received.
Civil society can do advocacy around the grant amount and how regular we can be, but we need funding. Funding is the key. If you get regular funding from government and development partners to make sure that we're able to be more regular and consistent, it improves the impact of the program. And the other one is advocacy around the essence and value, because some Ghanaians don't really understand why we should be giving cash grant to people. But if people get the understanding that these are people who, but for the LEAP program, could not have survived the next day, at least we will be sure that there were more allocations and support for the program across the country. The delay, I think we've not experienced this for a long time, but because of the recent economic situation in the country, as we all know, COVID and Russia-Ukraine war has affected the economic situation in every country, not only Ghana. And that is what currently is. The government is still committed, though we are in these trying times. We currently don't owe any beneficiary in areas. We have cleared that, especially for last year.
There are many voiceless elderly women and men like Danwore Ekwawoye who are only waiting for the final day to cross over to the yonder. But every delay in the disbursement of their LEAP stipends leaves them in a very, very vulnerable situation, and they are calling on all agencies responsible to fast-track the disbursal of their stipends. And then also, it becomes imperative for Parliament to pass the Social Protection Bill to commit the government to the welfare of the nation's elderly. Because after all, a nation that fails to take care of its elderly is not worth dying for. For Citi News, I am Caleb Kuda.
Let's do some more stories now. Residents of Anloga Sissechi within the Oforiko municipality of the Ashanti region have expressed excitement following the construction of a footbridge linking Anloga and Sissechi. According to the residents, until the construction of the new footbridge, they got worried anytime it rained, especially because the bridge has claimed a number of lives. The inhabitants are, however, urging authorities to urgently complete a motorable bridge which is under construction. Our Ashanti regional correspondent Fatih Aminu Ibrahim reports.
In June 2021, 50-year-old Akosia Dufie met her untimely death after she got drowned in her attempt to cross a dilapidated bridge that was being used by residents as a temporary measure. After several unsuccessful appeals to authorities to urgently fix the bridge, residents embarked on a demonstration in January 2023. The residents can now heave a sigh of relief following the construction of a footbridge that links Anloga and Susechi. According to some residents, their fears during rainfalls have now diminished after the construction of the new footbridge, especially as the rainy season has set in.
I say that there was a normal bridge, which was a wooden one, which was constructed at its end. So you could see that when it rains, usually that one gets carried away by the water. So this one, I don't usually use that one often when it rains or anything. So this one will be very efficient when it rains and all that. For myself, I believe that when it rains, anybody who uses that bridge is at the risk of loss because the person could get carried away by the water, or maybe the person could slip into the water whilst walking on the bridge. I believe that when it rains, since the wooden bridge is not that capable of necessarily carrying people while it rains, I believe that it could happen. So right now, there is much relief because you have no fear when it rains, and then you could take it anytime. And then now it has even increased the number of people that it carries by day. Because at first, the normal bridge that was constructed, it could carry like 2 or 3 people per time. And then you will have to wait whilst when someone is on the opposite end is coming, you have to wait first. But with this, anybody passes at any time.
The bridge has brought a lot of relief to the communities, to the residents living over here, especially the market women, those that trade around this area, students that almost go to campus. We have the KMS senior high, we have the university around. This is their main route that they normally pass from Asqua to campus, from stadium to campus. So it have brought a lot of relief to the community.
Nyankopo se yanka no kra ye pa because ye manage me fa so ekosku e fa so ba na ndra na nsuo toy na mesuro se bridge no kan so no di bridge ne beko because o ma ye bebiri ba ndra na nsuo no toy no pe me be hwe na bridge no wo ho no nti say yes ye nya bridge papa pa wa ha ene kwa me fa so clamp no me nsuro ma mo hu kra nti me fa so sa akọ.
The residents have also appealed to authorities to ensure the early completion of a motorable bridge which is currently under construction. The municipal chief executive for Furukum, Abraham Kwame Entry, who was assured of ensuring the early completion of the motorable bridge under construction, says the construction of the footbridge has always been a priority of the municipal assembly.
Main objective of the assembly is to provide development in all areas within the municipality. However, since we don't have all the resources, our development priorities are usually rated, and the highest on the scheme is always done first. This one has been a bother to all of us. In fact, last year during the heavy rains, a woman lost her life. And since the death of that woman, it became a mark on our conscience. Every time Oforikrom was mentioned nationwide, this issue would come to play. So then we needed to fast track the processes to get it done. So we decided it's going to be the first project to be completed this year. Let's not also forget that within this same stretch from Sisanso to the Bank of Ghana data center, this stretch of some 500 meters, 600 meters is benefiting from 3 motorable bridges and then 1 footbridge. The Gari factory to Bomso link is already completed. It's a motorable bridge. This particular area is also benefiting from a motorable bridge. And then the Bank of Ghana data center is also benefiting from a motorable bridge. So I am sure, and as the contractor assured us, within the next 1 month or so, they will be done with the base work, and then we'll be left with the superstructure up, which will not be affected by the rains if they should drop it.
Residents here have expressed excitement over the construction of this footbridge, particularly within this period where the rainy season has set in. They are, however, urging authorities to ensure the early completion of the bigger bridge that is being constructed. For Stinis, Fatih Amin Ibrahim, and Loga Sechi within the Oforikrom municipality of the Ashanti region.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Still to come. Week-long Heritage Caravan finally arrives back in Accra. We'll bring you the details shortly. Do stay with us.
Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Finally, anyone can become a house owner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You Go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated prizes, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
You're welcome back. The Heritage Caravan has finally arrived in Accra from the 8-day tour of 14 regions across the country. The caravan came back with so much excitement in anticipation of the 2024 edition. The Citi FM and Citi TV Heritage Caravan is the longest annual road trip in Ghana, which gives patrons the opportunity to see tourist sites and experience hospitality across various facilities. The 2023 edition, like earlier ones, had many Ghanaian nationals from the diaspora joining to have fun while learning about Ghana. The caravan left Cape Coast to Asin Monsoon Slave River in the central region before reaching Accra this evening. Now, my colleague Kweku Adriama Ansa was with the caravanites and joins us for this report. Kweku, what more can you tell us?
It's the final day that we've come to the end of another great edition of your favorite program or road trip, that is the Heritage Caravan 2023. Patrons early on or all through the 7 past days have been touring various tourist sites across the length and breadth of the country. At least we know that we visited not less than 14 regions out of the 16 regions of Ghana, and we've learned a lot, learned more about our culture, our norms, our practices, and also our history and what makes us Ghanaians. And this is to mark the Heritage Month, which has been instituted by the management of Citi FM and Citi TV every month, every March of the year. Well, even before we wrap up, we have the privilege of visiting the Asin Manso slave River site. This is where we do know that some indigents were taken captive from parts of the country and were made to walk and trek and come here, where they were auctioned to their respective buyers.
Walking from Salaga to Asin Manso is documented to be 400 miles. And 400 miles is almost 3 months of a journey. If all things being equal, and you are a woman, you have to go through 3 menstrual cycles. That was out of the journey was. Our foreigners were marching through the forest belt of the country. So majority of them were exposed to many dangers. Some bitten by snakes, others attacked by wild animals, and others suffered punishment and cruelty from the slave master. Because they knew the women were so loud, they decided to use the metallic mask concept on them. With that metallic mask, it is put on their head. There's a sharp object which connects to their mouth. So when they screw it, you can't open your mouth to speak. When you do so, that sharp object will cut your tongue. And because you don't want it to cut your tongue, you have to remain very silent.
So after walking for several miles, the slaves are brought to this area. On the left side is where it has been tagged as the last bath. And that is where these slaves who will be auctioned to their respective buyers are made to take their last bath. And so it has 2 different sources of rivers. And so they take their bath there and then they turn to this side where you see the first auction that is being made there. So that is where you have buyers coming onto the market to make purchases of these slaves and who would be onwardly taken outside of the country.
Current from this river could even take you off. So they used this to wash them. After washing them, they went to their first auction. That is where we were sold for things that are really not important. After selling you, you go to the next auction. They're branding. And the branding depends on the alphabet they want on you. They put it in fire and they stab it at your back, your chest, or your shoulder.
It's been fun, thrilling and adventurous for patrons of the 2023 edition of the Heritage Caravan, and some of them have been sharing some memories that they made on this trip.
I'm equally sad that I'm going. I'm very sad because I got here and actually forgot about every problem I have, and then truly, I'm very, very sad that I'm going home. I wish we could spend more days over here before we even get to the main place that we are going, before we get to Accra. Citi, can we do to leave here at 5 p.m. so that at least we could spend more time over here, because I'm truly sad that I'm leaving. It has been a very nice trip so far. So you can actually hear from my voice, the way I'm talking, that it's been fun. It's been so exciting and so fun. Citi is doing the most. Honestly, Kweko, I'm sad. I'm really sad.
There we go. But which places are your key moments?
Okay, so my key moments. I come from the northern region, but I had not seen an elephant before. And then I saw a big elephant. And I had an elephant as a baby elephant, and it's 25 years old. Can you imagine?
I didn't think I was going to have so much fun, but I did, and I'm glad I actually came and enjoyed my time. So because we were sponsoring, as you can see, everybody's wearing red. We were here to make sure that everybody was smiling. I got to meet great people, and I'm so glad everybody here decided to choose Colgate for a bright smile and a bright future. So, yeah, I'm just sad. I hope the next time you decide to do it, we'll do 2 weeks or a whole month. That would be great. The northern parts, because of like the places we went to Paga, I've never been to Paga, so to actually like go there, get to see the place, cross the border to Burkina Faso, was very great.
It's been 7 days, 14 regions. Time flies when you're having fun. I wish you could stop the hands of time.
But then, what has been your highlights also?
Youthbet Hotel. Youthbet Hotel. Yes, massive reception. And then the space at the northern region. It was so cool.
I can't believe 7 days moved so fast. Like, this is the fastest 1 week in my life. I wish I had the button to pause time, but time flies when you're having fun, so it's all good.
But what are some of your highlights throughout the trip?
Okay, for me, I really wanted to come to the north. I wanted to see the north and how it is. So I really liked that. And then my favorite part was the Youthbet experience. I mean, when we got there, the reception, the fact that it looked like the whole hotel, the entire staff was waiting for us to pick our bags, our luggages. Royal St. Citi was good. I mean, the entire experience has been amazing.
Sponsors were not left out of the fun that was experienced on the 7-day trip of the Heritage Caravan. Some of them have also been speaking to Citi News on the very last day of this trip.
On the bus, as a rep of the National Lottery Authority, I educated my patrons on what we do as an organization. A lot of people are used to the 590 games, but the NLA is more than that. There's a Caritas department where we engage corporate Ghana, as we are mandated by law in the Act 722 to run consumer promos in Ghana. So the same way you seek approval from other bodies, that's the same way you have to come to the NLA when your organization is running a consumer promo for us to supervise, run those draws for you.
We see value, we see opportunity. What we stand for as a brand is to enable more people secure better futures. And you would have seen that in every city we go, we try to at least leave an indelible ink, make sure our presence is felt, so people get to understand the need for them to take care of their futures. You know, if you understand that, I tell you what, then Ghana will be a better place to live. More importantly, the fact that all of us, given the opportunity when we are holidaying, we're going to pick our bags and move to either Dubai, now it's Dubai, either to Bahamas and all of that. But Citi have made Ghana attractive through this Heritage Caravan.
Meanwhile, management of Citi FM and Citi TV has been acknowledged for its tremendous support for the tourism industry of Ghana at the just ended Osaberma Awards, which was held in the Central Region.
It's a yearly Osaberma Royal Awards, which came off in January. Unfortunately, Citi was not here, so I just presented the award to you for your contribution to the success of Ogoa traditional area. I did it on behalf of Osaberma, who is or the Ogoa Mahene. Yes, Osaberma Kwesi this.
Let's go. Alright, so if you are thinking that it is the beginning of the Heritage Caravan, well, unfortunately, we're done with the 7-day tour of the 14 regions out of 16 regions of Ghana. But still the excitement continues, and for a lot of patrons, they say that the networking has been great. They are still going to keep their contacts, and this is how the Heritage Caravan this is how it is made up for. And so you can see the excitement still ongoing. We're currently here at the Tesano office of Citi TV. But anyway, the whole show is ending today, but you would want to join them.
My colleague Kweku Ediamansa joins me in studio for more. Kweku, I must say I'm a bit jealous because it seems you had a lot of fun.
And clearly the videos tells what really happened.
Yeah, tell me what the highlights of the trip was for you.
Well, so for me, I think I enjoyed literally every part of it because it was more like back-to-back fun on the bus, when we're down, when we're even going to the various tourist sites. I mean, the excitement was there all through the period. And for most of the patrons also, they enjoyed the part that these places they have been reading about, they have been hearing about them, they had the opportunity to feel it and to be there in real time. So, I mean, it was massive enjoyment all throughout, but we also acquired knowledge on the trip.
Right. And then for caravanites, as you call them, did they enjoy themselves? Were they...
In what we